Hey y'all, welcome to Adventures with Aggie. Today we have a super exciting episode because we're talking about two of my favorite things in the whole world. We're talking about soccer and coffee. I'm addicted to coffee, and I think that this show is going to be super interesting in talking about the relationship between soccer and coffee, the two universal languages. So we've got Rasha and Christian here to tell us about their relationship with soccer and coffee and starting the Kickoff Coffee Company. So please welcome Christian and Rasha.
Hey y'all, how are you doing?
Good, good.
Hi.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Awesome. Hi, I'm so glad y'all are here. I'm excited to get to learn more about your story and the Kickoff Coffee Co. story. So let's just get started, I guess, with a little bit of an introduction on who the two of you are. So Rasha, if you want to go first, that would be great.
Sure. So my name is Rasha. I was actually born in Bethlehem, Palestine. But since I was a little kid, I moved with my family to Peru. And then I moved later on to the US to study. Basically, my background has always been in human rights issues. I got my Juris Doctorate. I'm a lawyer now. I'm an immigration and human rights attorney. And then I'm also a coffee drinker, lover. And I have my own firm here in Florida, actually, where I practice. And soccer fan, of course, that's me.
I love it. I love it. You've been lots of places and you've done lots of things. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Christian, what about you?
So my name is Christian Ortiz, from South Florida originally. My parents are from Colombia, South America. And so I grew up just, a big fan of the game. Grew up around the fields, playing youth soccer. Later on, I coached. Played in college a little, and later on in college, I didn't want to let go. I love soccer so much, so I wanted to incorporate soccer into my studies. So even though I was studying international relations, my papers were always soccer related. So now I'm a community organizer, and I continue to just be a big lover of the sport and a big lover of coffee as well. I also wanted to say thank you, for having us on, and I wanted to say hi to your community Adventures with Aggie, and thanks for having us on this Sunday.
Yeah, of course, of course. I'm glad we're all coffee addicts, it seems like. I love that. I got into coffee this past semester. I was able to take a class at NYU on it was called, what was it called? Geography as a Commodity, coffee. They do different versions of this class, right? Like on wine and on oil and cotton. But This semester I got lucky and I got to drink a lot more coffee than usual, which is already too much, but that's okay. That was crazy. It was really cool to get to learn about that though. Awesome. Well, we'll get into Kickoff Coffee Co in a little bit, but let's start with kind of your earliest memories of soccer or football, whichever one you prefer. I didn't ask that at the beginning, but yeah, I guess, Christian, you want to go first, whether this is your earliest memories playing or watching or whatever that may be. Can you share with us?
Yeah, being a son of immigrants from Colombia, my parents both are also passionate lovers of the game. And I guess it being the national sport in Colombia, that was a given, that once we turned 4 or 5 years old, we were going to find a space on the field. So the earliest memories I could recollect is really just playing outside the house in the streets and playing with our neighbors, our friends, and just kicking around, my brothers and my brother and sister, and until we started playing in the youth division. So that's the earliest memory I can have, and man, sweet memories, never forget.
Awesome. Rasha, what about you?
To be honest, to go to the stadiums in Peru, my parents would never really want me to go because we have this thing called La Barra Brava, which at the end of each game it would get really violent, and I was too young, so we would get to watch it on TV. But my memories are my mom always having a heart attack because she could not control her nerves, and my dad always screaming, "They're always afraid to lose. They're always afraid to win." And those are my memories, screaming and passion around the house around soccer.
Passion. I think that was my house with American football. Lots of yelling and screaming and excitement. All good things usually.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's wild. Awesome. I guess next question, definitely closely related to the last one. Why soccer? Like, why not something else? I know, Christian, you mentioned this is the national sport of Colombia, so it was kind of natural. But yeah, I guess was there anything else that you were super into, and then you just ended up falling in love with soccer?
Well, so why is the question more related about playing soccer? Like why? Yeah, definitely. Well, we definitely had the opportunity to play other sports. My family, my brother and sister both are also pretty athletic,
Sure.
and they're probably the better ones. And we played a little baseball, we played a little basketball, for fun. But it was just soccer that really connected with our hearts, with our passion. And I think that, coming from Colombian roots, that really resonated with us. And like every time the national team would play, like my parents would take us to watch or to get us ready. We'd put on the Colombian jerseys, and that just really had a big impact on our lives. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Rasha, what about you? Did you play any sports growing up?
No, I was terrible at sports, but
Okay.
I was more of always like the artsy dancer in my house.
Okay.
But for me, why soccer? I feel like soccer was the one sport that it's like an international language. I had cousins all over the world that you can definitely cross barriers wherever you are. It's the one the one language that everyone can speak and everyone is passionate about. So for me, soccer has that thing that it crosses barriers like no other sport really. I mean, Peru we have volleyball. The US has so many others, but it's all about soccer around the globe,
Yeah, definitely. That's a perfect lead in to the next question that I have for y'all. So like y'all both touched on this already, but people always say like the power of soccer, the power of football, like the universal language, like exactly what you're talking about, Rasha. Can y'all just kind of like describe what this means and like how you've seen that universal power of the sport? Because I know there's always like a different experience, right? Like even between the two of you and me, like we're from different places. I didn't see that until I moved to New York City because that wasn't a thing in Alabama. But yeah, so I guess can you kind of describe this power of soccer that y'all are talking about?
You want to go first, Christian?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, well, okay. So
pass that right
one
back
of
to
the things, yes, no, that's fine. And one of the things that I noticed with soccer that you don't see anywhere else. In my career, working, with immigration and human rights, I get to talk with a lot of kids who just moved to the country that don't know much about the language, don't know much about the culture. And one thing that I feel like unites them as a human race, it's amazing to say it, but it's soccer. And there's a lot of organizations here in the US that do that actually. And we'll talk later if you want, but we are partnering with one of those organizations for one of our coffees to keep giving back to these communities. And there's also refugee communities where you see all these kids and using soccer as a power to transform the trauma, to forget about the reality they're living in, to get them to that, just to play the beautiful game and have this moment where they can take a break, right, of what everything else is going around the world. And it's so powerful, and it does have a transformative power for us as humans to have that collective unity between us. So that's what I think it means for me. So.
Sure. Yeah, Christian, what about you?
Oh, well said. And I would say, along those lines, the game of football or soccer, football, however you refer, it's like a universal language. And I've been able to kind of read and learn from the game, both on the field and off, that power that it shares. Because as far as I can remember, like as a kid, being a young son of immigrants, being a little different culturally, the one thing that brought me together with our new home here was the game of soccer. So no matter where or what language you speak, there's a ball and a pitch, like it'll instantly, naturally just bring people together. And that's really what for us the power of soccer means. And you could even analyze this from a different perspective, like from the athlete's perspective, like that, what does the power of soccer mean? There's just so many definitions. Like the power of soccer, we were just speaking, Rasha and I, the other day, and what it feels like when you're on the field and when the stadiums were packed before the pandemic took place, and that impact, that feeling, that vibe that you get when 70, 60,000 people are chanting, and you have these athletes, amazing athletes on the field, and they're just vibing off of it. And so the game has power in so many different ways. So the one we love the best is the way it brings people together.
Oh, if I may add, one of the best experience we had in Peru, one of my home countries, we finally classified to the World Cup after, what was it, 38 years? The last World Cup, we finally classified for the World Cup. And when that happened, that day, there was a recorded earthquake in Peru from all the people that were celebrated. They recorded an earthquake because the earth was shaking from all the excitement of the people. That's how passionate this thing is. So, yes, that's soccer.
Remember that? I remember that.
Peru. You remember that? Yeah,
what a classification! Yeah, when they qualified, that was amazing.
Wow, I didn't realize that soccer could cause, I guess, weather, like disaster.
From all the jumping and all the, yes.
Wow, I've never heard that story. That's awesome though. Wow, that's incredible. Cool. Well, I guess let's kind of move into coffee. I think we all like coffee. We're all on the same page there. But let's talk a little bit about like y'all's relationships with soccer and coffee. Like, I think I can definitely tell. I've already ordered, or I'm drinking my Kickoff coffee right now. And I know I wake up in the morning, Saturday morning, Bayern's on, I drink my coffee. That's how it works. But I guess, what is y'all's relationship with coffee and soccer?
So, if you take a look at, the universal language of football, and you ask yourself, what else crosses cultural borders, kind of like soccer does? And I think that there are very few other things that can. There are. So we in that point, we kind of come from experience, growing up, in a Colombian household, and every morning for Colombians, coffee is a big part of your morning. And we kind of realized that coffee is its own universal language, very much the way soccer is. And so, those two things we kind of saw, and, being coffee lovers as well, we really wanted to kind of find a space where these two universal language can continue together, bringing people together. So.
Yeah. So basically that we call it the two universal languages in one. That's how we try
United
to.
in one.
Yeah. So we're trying to build a community around those two universal languages. The way that people drink coffee, for instance, in Italy, the way that they drink in the Middle East, we have a different type of brewing methods.
Sure.
The special beans from Colombia that are top quality around the world, and then bring that passion for coffee and passion for soccer. It just, like we were talking with Christian and Melissa the other day, our other co-founder, it just seems so natural that these two come together. And then let's talk about our mornings to watch the games. We need coffee because we are on a different schedule from the European league and all that.
Yeah, she mentioned, her watching Bayern Munich and, having coffee in the morning. That's something we grew up with. Like, we would simultaneously serve our coffee in the morning. And once they started, showing more of the games on TV, we'd be putting on, whether it was English Premier League or, Serie A, German Bundesliga, Spanish, La Liga. And that is like a part of our morning. It's like the way we just started our day. Is really, it became an ingrained ritual. So,
definitely.
So yeah, I guess it also has to do with a little with our time zone, but but we know others are celebrating the sport and coffee in other time zones as well, like in Europe. Espresso, it's not really limited to the time zone. So
Sure. Yeah, no, I every Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Wednesdays,
yeah,
every day get up. And now that we're working from home all the time, it's even
yeah.
better, right? Coffee. I have my school happening on this computer and then firing on in the background.
I love that. I love that.
Everything at once.
It's the
But
same in this household. It's the
yeah,
exact same thing. 24/7 soccer. There's always soccer somewhere in the world.
true.
So
It's true.
I have some funny Zoom meeting confessions to make with soccer games in the background. I better not talk about it. Like I could get in trouble, but another
Not
time.
on here. Not under Bitches Itagi. We don't need that here. Awesome. So I guess backtracking just a little bit, but how did the idea for Kickoff Coffee Co come about? Who decided that this was needed right now? Like, I'm so glad that you have done this. Like, I appreciate it a lot. But I guess how did it originate?
that was Christian who came with the first idea. The light bulb went out, and it was and before he explains that, let me just tell you, it was during this time of the whole pandemic happening. We were in so much uncertainty. We there was so much negativity. There was so much, nobody wanted to move. People were just wanted to save money, right? And we were seeing layoffs, and Christian comes with this crazy idea. And we're all like, our instinct says it's amazing, but our mind is like, don't do it now. Don't do it now. This is not the right time, right? But I guess we just went for it. We just like, we need to bring this vision, his vision into a reality. We had to, and we took the risk basically.
And so I've, growing up in soccer, playing, coaching, and then, just being a lover of the game, a fan. I'm a part of a few support groups. I say support groups because my teams are underdogs. Supporter groups. But we are giving each other support because we need it. Yeah, it's just like soccer is a part of my everyday, and as it is my sister. She's an Olympian. She played for the Colombian national team, and for my family, it's part of every day. Who's playing. What's going on with the transfer rumors. What's going on midweek from what's going on in the training grounds. We're constantly reading about it. Like I said, when I was in college, I tied in a lot of the soccer related topics to international relations, international affairs. But on the other end, I always wanted to do something coffee related. Like I've always loved coffee. And throughout the different jobs and gigs that I've had, coffee was always like the thing that made me the happiest. When I get that chance to really brew some coffee for my coworkers, or host a community meeting with a fresh pot of coffee, and that was like the thing that really like made me happy. So like Rasha said, during this pandemic, I got pushed to part-time on my job, and it was really a tough time, and God knows only what everybody else is going through at this moment. But my heart goes out to them, and we kind of took that time to really sit down and put some ideas together, and this would have not been possible without Rasha and Melissa, because day two, after I kind of jotted down the idea of pushing soccer inspired coffee brand out there, I quit. So I quit. I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I can't do this. I can't do it by myself. And so I quit that first day.
Yeah.
And the next day, Rasha wakes up, comes out of her office over here, and she's like, Christian, we're doing it. We're doing it. So that very same weekend, my sister was visiting from out of town, and we told her, we're going to start a soccer inspired coffee company, because we love great coffee, and we love the way, it brings together people. And we'd love to see how this can continue to bring people together around the game. And she was like, wait a minute, I love this. She's like, let's do this together. I was like, and like I said, without Rasha and Melissa, this at least this journey wouldn't have happened. So
I still remember the day that he came to I was in my home office, and he came and he's like, I have a great idea. I want to make a coffee for soccer fans, and I want to call it Kickoff. That was like right away he said out of that, and it's gonna be called Kickoff Coffee. And I was like, wow, that has an amazing sound.
Yeah.
All right, but I got so much work right now. Like, good luck with it.
Yeah.
But then I was so inspired by it. I was like, no, we have to make this happen. This is like a great idea. Let's do it.
I love that. It does have a ring. It does for sure. I love it. It's so catchy. And I'm shocked that people haven't tried to put this together before. Like, it makes sense. Like what y'all were talking about with the universal language, the universal game. Like, why wouldn't this have already been done? I think there's so many brands out there trying to become like lifestyle soccer brands or lifestyle football brands, whatever they like to say. But I haven't seen this yet, and I'm so excited, which is why the first time I saw you on Instagram, I ordered my beans. But,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Of course, it made sense. Well, I guess we kind of already talked about this, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it. But like, why coffee and not something else, right? Like, there are plenty of, I think, like, I don't know, beer companies or something that are branded with sports teams or sports something. And like I said earlier, there are lifestyle brands that are like apparel brands, and they don't really have teams, but they're just kind of their own thing, I guess. So can you just kind of expand a little bit more on why coffee in this situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. Football's there's so many elements to it, and there's so many great creative projects around the game, and I'm a lover and supporter of a lot of those. So, like, look at this beautiful hat I'm wearing. This is a tribute to Uruguay, Uruguayan football. I don't know if it's a small country on the Atlantic coast of South America, with such a small population, yet they make such a big impact in the history of games. So this is, apparel. And so why coffee and the game? Like I said, there's just so many ways to celebrate the game. There's so many ways, and there's so many little intricate parts that are part of the day-to-day of this beautiful sport. And it's something that we want to recognize and highlight. And in so, having grown up around the game, we also said, we want to do something in which we can continue to bring people together. We want to do something that will pay tribute to the game, and it just came together with, that kind of that dream that I had to really do something coffee related. Like, I've always loved coffee, and I think, probably since I was like in college, or early on in college. I moved to Colombia. I did my grad school there, and that was really where coffee became a part of like my day-to-day. And later on, being part of soccer supporter groups. I lived in California a little, and gosh, California, like, somebody's got to pat them on the back. People who live in California and get up every morning to watch football, soccer, because they're getting up at 4, 5:30 a.m. And I had that experience, and I've made great lasting friendships with people and fellow soccer supporters in California. And at that time, I mean, the beverage of choice, it's split. Some are drinking coffee, some are drinking beer, or both, a little both. But it is early in the morning, and coffee has that important part of the day. So I think that's why.
And I think what for me made sense also that we should do coffee is because we wanted to highlight the game around the globe. And so we wanted to take an element like we were talking that we can take from every region of the world and celebrate it too. For instance, our first product, which is the Playmaker, it pays tribute to the great playmakers in Colombia, which there we go. Yes. So, everyone knows El Pibe, everyone knows the great playmakers of Colombia. And this is so this was our way to, pay. So it matches nicely that way, right? So we can grab a copy from for instance, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but we have two more products coming up. And so it's from a certain region. And so we highlight the soccer from that region and the type of coffee or the way that they like to drink coffee or the coffee culture of that region. So it helps that they're both universal languages and that they both have their own distinct cultures that are celebrated in different ways. So that's why, it's just a perfect pairing. They're just a match.
And I'd like to say, like, we really want to make this supporter focused. Like, we really want to highlight the support, the cultures that are where these coffees are coming from. Not only that, but we really want to highlight the culture that is around the game and being a supporter. So you'll see in our upcoming products that we're going to be launching in the next few weeks, how those energies and those vibes that come from the game are celebrated in very diverse ways.
That's awesome. What you've sold me. I believe you. I get it. I think it's great. No questions there.
Sorry for the long response.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. Cool. And I hope that people also understand it and they go out and buy y'all's beans as well. But I guess moving into the beans themselves, where do they come from? Where are you getting these beans from? I don't know. I don't think y'all are there farming them yourselves, but what does that look like for y'all?
No. So, at this stage, at this point, we've committed ourselves to only selecting the highest quality, like really high quality coffee beans, because part of the experience has been that a lot of us who wake up in the morning and watch soccer over coffee, sometimes we don't realize like what we're drinking, which coffee brand or where it comes from, and we want to highlight where it comes from. We want to make sure that we're making the right partnerships, and we've been able to source really great high quality coffee beans from Huila, Colombia. And they come directly from Charco Negro and Buena Vista village. So I don't know. Well, you're drinking it right now, you say, and we hope you enjoy it. The first bag is a single origin coffee bean, so it's coming directly from farm cooperative in Huila, which is also a very, very important coffee region in Colombia because of the fantastic altitude that it boasts, and the environment that it has, which promotes really, really nice growing characteristics for coffee.
And our roaster here in Florida, we have a local artisan roaster. He's very picky about what beans he roasts. So if it's not good quality bean, there's a score that they use for the beans, and ours is always above 80 in that score. He won't roast anything under, I think, 84, he told us. So we need to give him good quality beans. And the other thing that he won't do is burn the beans to make that dark roast that people like the bitter.
Right.
So he's like very particular about the new wave of roasting. I know we're talking about something else, but now that we're talking about our coffee. So our beans you can expect them to be top quality, and he roasts them in a way that you can taste where it comes from. He doesn't want to kill that from the bean. And I think that's what we loved about him. That's why he's our local roaster, basically.
Yeah, I like that too. I do think though people like the burnt taste. Sounds weird to say, but people like that sometimes, like burnt coffee. But no, I think it's so cool too that he has that standard. Like he's not gonna do anything lower.
No, even if we pay him, he won't. He's
wow
about it, And it's okay. We respect him, and we love you, Luis.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. Cool.
I guess next, I guess transition a little bit. So, what's the mission and like long-term goal for Kickoff Coffee Co? I know you all come from very different backgrounds and things. I know you all are trying to tackle lots of different things through this, but yeah, where are y'all going long term?
Well, we have our mission. We always describe it as three things, right? So let me see if I remember, because I always, when people ask me, I always say, okay, yes, we know what our mission is. We want to, first of all, pay tribute to the beautiful game and pay tribute to the fans, which is something, that you'll see through our, mostly in our two next products. Pay tribute to the fans and the beautiful game through our, brand. The other main mission that we have is to create that amazing community, right, between coffee lovers and soccer. And we've been doing that through our Instagram, which is amazing. Like, we've been talking and connecting with so many people across the US and across the globe, sharing our passions and talking about games, and like, oh my God, that was such a good game. Like that, we are already creating that community, and we love that. And the third, and I think that's the most important from our backgrounds, is the give back portion. So 10% of every bag that you purchase will go to a nonprofit organization that uses soccer as a tool for social development, like we were saying, for, to cure children in trauma or whatever it is that they do. That's our way to give back to that community.
I love that. That's the power of soccer and the power of coffee and giving back. It all makes sense. It all ties together, which is so cool. But yeah. I love it. Awesome. Well, what's next? What stage are y'all in now? I know y'all touched on some partnerships and things that you are releasing soon. I don't want you to give any spoilers on the show, but yeah. So I guess what's coming up next for y'all?
So yeah, like currently we're in this is what we've called like a pre-launch, like our, we've launched, but in like a more reduced way, because we want to have our complete line of coffee products ready. We're not there yet, but we wanted to open the doors because, we're really grateful for all the messages of support and encouragement that we've gotten from friends in the community, and so we were like, well, we just gotta get it going. Like, let's open the doors and let's release our first bag. We released the Playmaker. We hope everybody who's been able to try it are enjoying it, and so we're looking forward to also releasing our next two bags in the coming weeks. And once we do, I guess we'll have some kind of grand opening for this this venture. But
sure,
yeah. It also has helped us to do this kind of pre-launch, or you can call it soft launch, with one product. And I think from the business perspective, it helped us to see how the dynamics, what the dynamics are. This is a journey. None of us have done anything like this before, so it really helps, even like if the boxes are right, because we want to create an experience. When you get that box in your house, we want you to open it and have that soccer come to your house. And so this has helped us to, correct any mistakes that we've made in the long run. For instance, let me tell you, merch. We've been dying to put out merch out there. We haven't yet. That you see, there's have been so many like setbacks, and we're still trying to put it out there. We want to put the best out there. So that's coming soon, and we're learning. That's basically our pathway to, our journey to get there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lots of things coming up. That was a lot of fun things. Coffee, merch, everything's coming. Cool. I'm so excited. Awesome. Well, I guess just last question for y'all. How can people reach you guys and buy your coffee?
Well, we have a few accounts on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. They're there. We're continuing the soccer conversation and the coffee conversations through those. And it's been amazing, like really connecting with soccer fans around the country and around the world, actually. Like, we've been chatting with people in England and people in Italy, and as well in California, which is, it's incredible, really, because, there's no time zone that people aren't talking about these two items, soccer and football. So, please, if you have the opportunity, say hi to us, or reach out to us if you have any questions on Instagram. It's at Kickoff Coffee Co. We're also, you're welcome to check out our website. It's www.kickoffcoffeeco.com. And yeah, we'd love to stay in touch.
Yeah, we'd love to bring everyone that loves these two things that we love, to bring them into our community, because we're building something beautiful here. So it's worth your time, I think, to come and get to know us a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, I followed. I promise I do follow. I love it. That was how I found you guys. But yeah, thanks so much for sharing this story. This is like I think my two favorite things: sports specifically soccer, I guess, and coffee. So I was so excited to get to chat with you guys. But thanks so much for giving me some of your time.
No, thank you for showing some interest in talking to us. We love this. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Aggie, and we're really happy to be here with you and to have connected. Given the pandemic times, we really do miss connecting with people, and this has been fun. And thank you for opening up your doors for us, and we really are grateful for that.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Christian and Rasha, for sharing that awesome story. I know I'm super excited about having a coffee that is dedicated to soccer, and I love that. I drink it every game day, every morning when I wake up and watch Bayern play. I love Bayern and coffee, so it's a perfect fit. But guys, please go check out their coffee beans. I know you'll love it. The Playmaker is awesome, and yeah, go follow them on Instagram. Go order their beans. Go get some Kickoff coffee.